What's up guys, John here, and today I'm going to show you guys 5 awesome shooters for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 that aren't going to break the bank. Guys, remember to like the video and remember to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's check it out.
I can't see shit! I can't see shit! Oh my god.
Number 5, we have Shooter Space Shot for the PlayStation 1. So, Shooter Space Shot is a PlayStation 1 shooter that's not really talked about by a lot of people. It was actually made by a company called AgeCheck, and I'm not sure of the names of the other AgeCheck releases, but they did come up with a couple of other games on the PlayStation 1, and none of them were really that good. But this one's pretty good. If you like games like R-Type Delta, which are kind of expensive on the PlayStation 1, then you should really give Shooter Space Shot a chance. Now, there is a lot of cutscenes in this game, and they are they remind you of like Sega CD, full motion video kind of thing. So, if you can deal with that, and you want to play a decent shooter that's actually pretty cheap. I picked up my copy brand new for $10 on eBay about a year ago. So, this is a pretty cheap game. You know, Shooter Space Shot, check it out. Number 4, we have Blvd for the PlayStation 2. Now, this is an interesting game because Working Designs actually picked this up from the original game that came out on the Sega CD. So, I guess Game Arts localized it first, and then Working Designs stepped in. But yeah, Blvd on the PlayStation 2. Now, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce this. Blvd, I think it's pronounced Blvd, but if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. This was actually a Working Designs release for the PlayStation 2, and as we all know, when Working Designs kind of died out, their last releases were for the PlayStation 2. You know, I have a couple of them. I am working towards a full Working Designs set. I probably have half of the games. Missing like a TurboGrafx game and a couple of Sega Saturn games. But anyway, this game really reminds me of Raystorm, which is also on this list. And it has that like pseudo 3D vibe, which was really popular at the time. That tends to date a lot of games, especially from this era. This one's not too dated though. It is okay. I will say this is a huge leap forward from the first Blvd for the Sega CD. And that game, you know, it's okay. I'll probably review it at some point. But if you like that game at all, I mean, definitely pick Blvd up for the PlayStation 2. It's a cheap game. It's inexpensive. It's a Working Designs release. It has like the awesome glossy foil cover. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't own this. I mean, I probably paid $15 for this game. It's dirt cheap. You know, get it now. I mean, this might be one of those games that who knows what it's going to cost in a couple years' time. Okay, so for number 3, we have Raystorm for the PlayStation 1, and yet again, another Working Designs game. Okay, so Raystorm is yet again another Working Designs game, although this game did come out prior to Blvd for the PlayStation 2. You know, yet again, this is another game, and although it's in a small jewel case, so it doesn't have a lot of the extra stuff that a lot of the PlayStation 1 games that Working Designs released were known for, it does have that nice shiny cover, and it does say on here at the time you had a chance to enter some kind of contest with this game and win $10,000, so it's a pretty good marketing technique. Play a game, get good at it, win 10 grand. I'm on board. Now, this game does remind me of Blvd, like I just stated earlier, but, you know, this is a really good game. I actually believe that the Japanese version of this game came out on Sega Saturn, and it's called Layer Section 2. I'm not quite sure if you know, let me know in the comments below, but I've been looking at Layer Section, and it looks very, very similar to Raystorm. But, yeah, it's another, you know, top-down shooter. It's got the pseudo 3D graphics that, like, again, all the games were known for at the time. But, you know, this one looks a little bit dated, you know, more so than Blvd, but it's still a pretty good game. It still has an awesome soundtrack, and it was still pretty revolutionary for its time. So, I recommend it. I think it's a good game. It is kind of pricey, but if you can find it for a good deal, I mean, pick it up. Raystorm for the PlayStation 1. Number 2, we have R-Type Final for the PlayStation 2. So I keep referencing this game, but R-Type Delta, if you like R-Type Delta, which is really expensive for the PlayStation 1, and you can't afford it or you don't want to play it on an emulator, this is your next best option. R-Type Final on the PlayStation 2. Now, a lot of people have kind of given this game some grief and, you know, saying it's not that good, but I own a copy of it. I like it. It reminds me of R-Type Delta. I think it's a pretty good game. With that being said, now this game is challenging, so if you're new to the genre of shoot 'em ups or shmups or whatever you want to call them, and you're looking to get your feet wet, this might not be for you. You might want to play a game that's a little bit more forgiving. But with that being said, this is yet again another one of those games that has the pseudo 3D graphics. It looks really good. I'm glad they released it on the PlayStation 2 because, you know, the PlayStation 2 hardware, it handles R-Type Final quite well. And, you know, I really recommend this game because it's pretty cheap. I think I paid $7 for this game, and this is a game that I see at a lot of retro stores in my area. So it's around, it's not expensive online. It probably might cost a few more dollars, maybe, what, 15 bucks? I mean, come on, guys. There's shooters out there for the Saturn that cost a small fortune. If you want to get into the game, it's $15, you know, roughly. I say pick it up. R-Type Final for the PlayStation 2. Number one game, big surprise, right? Strikers 1945 for the PlayStation 1. This is another one of those games, guys, that I say, oh my god, this game is fucking awesome. If you guys love the shoot 'em ups from the Super Nintendo era, the shoot 'em ups for the Neo Geo, you know, there's like the shoot 'em ups with all the sprites and all the fancy sprite work and all the shoot 'em ups for the Sega Saturn that are awesome. If you're into all that stuff, you are going to love this game. Now, with that being said, most of my favorite shooters are for the Sega Saturn, and most of them are imports. But I will tell you, Strikers 1945 for the PlayStation 1, it steps up to the plate against all those games. It's equally just as good as any shooter I've ever played. Funny thing about this game is it's not that expensive. This is another one of those games that I fear in the future, you know, if people find out about it, it's going to be one of these like super pricey games. I mean, I found this at a used game store in like excellent condition for, I think, 20 bucks. And I mean, there's shooters out there that cost several $100s that aren't near as good as Strikers 1945. So guys, if you're looking for a shooter and you're looking to get one for a good deal that is awesome and you're going to love, play this game, Strikers 1945. I think I got a video of it out the other day. It is a fantastic, awesome shoot 'em up. Please do yourself a favor and check out this game. So I hope you guys liked the video, and what are some of your guys' favorite shooters? I mean, I would love to know. I love to know about new shooters that I can play and that I find out about. So please comment below, guys. Remember to like the video and remember to subscribe to the channel. And peace out.